Hello everyone, welcome back to another video challenge. I'm your host, Fabiola Lara. If you haven't seen me before, I'm an illustrator and I'm a content creator and I make a lot of videos and I love to make videos. So today we're going to be showing you, and by we I mean just myself, I'm going to be showing you how you can repurpose and resize your content so you can put it on multiple platforms, because we really need to be working smarter, not harder. And so this little 25-minute tutorial is going to be all about that. I'm going to show you how to repurpose for Instagram and TikTok, and you could even put it onto Shorts, all using Premiere Pro. So if you've ever felt like resizing everything and re-exporting it and making it look good for different platforms is overwhelming, you're in the right place, because I'm going to show you exactly how I do it to make it a little bit more manageable. I'm never going to say it's like the easiest thing on earth, because it does take some time and effort, but I think it's totally worth it. So before we jump into the project, I need to remind you to download the starter files, remind you to hit subscribe if you've been liking all of our tutorials here on Adobe Live. And if you download the starter files, you'll be able to follow along and edit with me. That way you can actually get some practice before you go do it for yourself. Okay, let's go over to my monitor. We're here, we're in my monitor. Okay, great. So if you want, again, you can download these, you can download this project so you can work on it alongside me, or just watch and do it later. But if you were here last week, we edited this little like editing to the music of this little like Cancun vacation recap type of video that I did. And today I'm going to be sharing how I would take this. I kind of made this specifically for Reels, but I'm going to show you how I would what I would do to bring it over to something like TikTok or something like Instagram, or just different sizes in general in case you want to share it anywhere else. So one quick way to adjust your video so you can put it on different platforms, just different sizes, is to use the resize tool, the auto reframe tool. So hold on, I have to close like the other sequences because that's when I start to feel super lost. So the auto reframe tool is really cool because it will automatically like readjust the sizing of your videos to whatever ratio you give it and try and capture the same like action in the center, for example. Instead of just like going and adjusting it dead center, it really like analyzes the clip to make sure it gets like the action in the frame. So it's really cool. One thing about this vlog that I edited is it has like these frames on top of it already, because this footage, for example, is already horizontal, and I just like made this little frame so that I could make it look cute for vertical video. And then some of them are actually already vertical. Like I think this one, yeah, this is already a vertical video that I just cut into. So it's kind of like a quirky one, but I'm just gonna show you how I would go ahead and do this. So this is already 9:16. But what I would do is I go to File. You gotta make sure you're on your sequence. Sequence, auto reframe sequence. So if you hit this, it's going to let you name it, but it also, like you can choose the target aspect ratio. So for this one, for example, I want it to go into horizontal. We already made it vertical, so I'm just going to make it horizontal in case I just want to use it somewhere else. Again, you can do this the other way around too, go from horizontal to vertical, but I already made this vertical, so we're starting from there. So I'm going to choose to make this horizontal. You can also choose to make it square or 4:5. 4:5 is kind of interesting because that is the new Instagram feed size. So if I wanted to just make it like a video that would just go in the feed, I could use this, which would be like, I feel like that would be a really cool way to go from YouTube horizontal to vertical Instagram. That's not just like a reel. But anyway, it's debatable because everything's like a reel in Instagram world. We're gonna go to horizontal because that's like the most dramatic transition. All right, so you click horizontal. Motion tracking, I'm gonna say default. If you wanted to track motion slower or motion faster, that's up to you. I feel like when you do faster, it can be a little bit like jolting, so I don't always recommend that, but you have to play with it. And then I'm gonna say like don't nest the clips. Nest clips, this will keep motion adjustments but remove transitions. This is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna hit create. And you can see now that it made a whole new sequence for me. Let's go into sequence settings. So it's 1080 by 607 because I was coming from 1080 by 1920. If I wanted it to be 1920 by 1080, I would have to like adjust it there, but I'm not going to do that this time, but you can go ahead and do that if you'd like. I just want to show you how it works. So the one thing about auto reframe, and the reason I wanted to do this as an example, is because even though it does a great job cutting into the footage, it doesn't touch graphics. So for example, I have text here that it didn't touch. It didn't adjust my little frame. So that's the kind of stuff that you have to do manually. Again, this is now a horizontal video, so I don't really need to do anything. What I could do is just remove all of my, I have those all on one layer, so it's really easy for me to turn off the little frame that I had going on. So, okay, now we're good. For example, like if I wanted this to be the trailer for my YouTube video, that's where like this could go. The trailer for my YouTube channel. But I still have to adjust the text and all of that. So I just want to show you how you would do that because it's still like saving you a ton of work. So you can click in here. I'm going to click into Cancun properties, and you can just resize everything right in here. So I can make this larger. If I click this little toggle manipulation, I can like move it exactly where I want. Oops. Somewhere like that. Alternatively, instead of touching it at all in the properties, you could just touch it, transform it using the manipulation tool right within the program monitor. So I could just go like that, and I'm scaling it up by holding Option and Shift. So it's just up to you. This basically scaled that graphic up versus actually changing the properties of the text. And then for the Gaussian blur, I feel like it's a little too strong. So I'm going to go to Effect Controls and just like lower it. Yeah, like 3 is nice. Okay. And then I have to do the same thing for the vacation one here. I can, again, just play with the scale. So I'm going to do like, let's do 200. Okay. And then I need to play with the Gaussian blur. It's just like too much. Let's do 3. That feels nice. Okay. But then because I just edited like the scale of everything, the animations and all of that stays put. Even if you had changed the properties in the properties panel, it would also stay put, which is really nice because you don't have to rebuild the graphics from scratch. You just have to like manipulate the ones you already have. So let's see how that turned out. Okay, great. Love the intro. It's just as cute as it ever was. Now I want to adapt these graphics. You can barely see them in here, but if we go back over here, it's like this little text that I had around the like frame of the video, but I don't have a frame here, but I still want to have those little details in there. So for this one, I'm going to show you how I would do it if I did it through the properties panel. I'm going to hit Cancun, and I'm going to change the size of that. So you'll see it adjusting right here. Let's do like, yeah, 125. This is just me choosing it arbitrarily. Okay, I don't know something you don't know. I just chose it. And from there, I'm also going to move it. It's like the bottom corner here. Okay, so now that's 125. So now I'm going to go to the other text point and switch it to 125. And I'm just going to select both of these and use my alignment tools to align them so that they're both at the bottom together. So now I know that those are like together at the same height. And then if I click on the group, I also can, or wait, maybe I just select both of these. Sometimes you can align to video frame as a group and center it. So then I can make sure it's like evenly centered on the left and the right of the text. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for the top group, or I could duplicate it. I mean, there's a million ways to get anything done here, but I'm just showing you in case you use auto reframe and you're like, everything looks crazy in my video now. Here's what you need to do. All right, so I just switched those to 125. I like their placement. Not really, hold on. I want these two to be aligned, so I'm just going to Align to selection, okay. And I want these two to be aligned. Align to selection. And I also feel like these are a little too low. So I'm just gonna move them up together. Okay. All right, but once again, the Gaussian blur is too strong now. That was just an effect I used to make it look a little bit more like film-like. I'm gonna move it to 2. 2's, I keep hitting 1 instead of 2. That's a little not enough. Up it. Yeah, I think 3 is a sweet spot. So I would use that, and now I could have that. Now, the thing is I use these a lot in my video. So what I would do is either repeat that step each time for all of them, or you could right click, duplicate. Okay, oh, I just hit option and duplicate it like that. And then drag it on top of where of the ones I want to replace and kind of go through like that. So this one also had the same information. So I could just disable that and change this to like, let's say 1215 or whatever. And go ahead and do that across all the ones that you want to keep that little text box in. I'm not going to do it all right now because you get the gist of it, but that's how it would be. I think I pre-cooked it over here. Yeah, and for this one, I even kept the graphics. I just resized it. So it's really up to you what you want to keep when you adjust the sizing from vertical to horizontal. I just wanted to show you how you could do that. And if you don't have a ton of graphics, lucky you, because it's going to be really easy to transform the sizing using the auto transform tool. I can show you one more time. We're going to take this one and change it over to auto reframe sequence to 4x5. Hit OK. It's going to make it here. And now we have this 4x5 clip. This one, it didn't adjust the graphics, but I do like how they ended up looking. I think it looks kind of cool, even though the text didn't scale the exact same way as it was in the original sequence. I still think it looks cool, and I would just post it like this. Maybe change a little bit of the Gaussian blur on some of the text here. Yeah, drop it a little bit and go through and do that. But other than that, I wouldn't really do much else. And for things that you do in the effect controls panel, you can also just press copy and right click and copy, paste attributes, and it'll change like that Gaussian effect if that's what you want. And now here it should be updated. Oh, no, because there's 2. Okay, well, whatever, you delete it there. There's multiple ways to do anything here. So that's one way that you could go ahead and do it. A little bit tedious when you have a lot of graphics to handle, but still way faster than like rebuilding it and readjusting every frame yourself. So I just wanted to show you that, and I would like post this on Instagram just like this because it would look really cool. All right, so now that you know how to use the auto reframe tool, that's just one way that you can go about repurposing your content that just makes it a little bit easier for you to go from one edit to like multiple edits for different platforms. The other one I want to show you, which if you download the starter files, you'll be able to follow along, is this one here. So I have a lot of different things on here that I'm going to toggle one at a time, but this is an edit I did for Instagram. You have it just as one video clip because it was just like easier for me to hand it over to you this way. But if you edit your video, you can do it then. What you want to do, and what I ended up doing, is I want to make this for TikTok, right? So if I have a reel already made, and I know you can see I have the TikTok one made already, but I'm going to walk you through what I would do. I would actually duplicate it because Reel and TikTok is the same dimensions. I don't need to do auto reframe. So I'm going to do TikTok V2 just so I can show you. From here, I would delete the well, I wouldn't delete the captions actually. I would just want to regenerate. I would want to replace the graphics. So for example, this one, I kind of, in the Reels version, if you see it in your file, I tried to emulate like a style of captions that Instagram kind of natively does. Again, this doesn't have all the animations that the Instagram captions have, but it does kind of look similar to the styles of fonts that you would get inside of the Instagram app. But for TikTok, that would be odd and that's weird. So for this one, instead of using Reel's native-ish caption, which if you download the project file, you'll get the preset for this, I want to make one that looks like TikTok. Now I have it already here, but I'm going to show you how I built it, which is, I just like looked it up, and the closest font I think would be something like Proxima Nova right here. And then TikTok, I was like looking at my videos, doesn't really have a shadow, but it does have an option for a stroke. So I like kind of using the stroke. I think it helps separate it from the rest of the video. And it's kind of thick. I mean, it's not super thick, but a little bit. So I just amped it up there. If I zoom in, you can hopefully see what I'm saying here. And then let me see if I can scroll. There's like some glare on my screen. I can't see if I'm scrolling in the right spot. Okay. I have a mini, oops. I'm trying to scroll to the right spot. Okay, well, I think that's as good as it's gonna get for me to show you what I'm trying to say. Okay, maybe like this. Here we go. I think you can see a little bit better. So I want it to look like this, and I want that to apply to all of my captions though. And the one way you can do this without having to do it every single time is to make it a track style. So that I already made one, but I'm gonna show you how you can make one, be it one for a TikTok-ish kind of caption or for anything else that you wanna make. You just hit this plus button in the properties panel, you hit create style, and I'm gonna call this TikTok-ish. V2, so we can see the difference here. I'm gonna hit OK, and now I've created this track style, and I want to apply it to all the captions on the track. So let's play that through.
Say I have a mini print vending machine at City Hall, inside Dilworth Cafe to be exact. You can now visit it during store hours.
So I would have to edit this little typo, visit it. So that's what I would do to get like TikTok looking captions if you want your content to have like a native in-app editing feel, even though you edited in Premiere Pro. But because you can create different versions for different platforms all at once instead of having to just do it the tedious way. Now another thing is that maybe I want this title to also match the captions. Well, we just created the track style. If you hit the text and go all the way down, you'll see linked styles. So we can attach our newest one that we just made. And it's a little too small though, right? Like that is not the size of a title that we would want, but no problem, because you can just edit this to be more like what you want, just using these properties for the text panel right in the properties panel. So I think I want it to look like this, and then maybe I want the text to be a little closer together. And you can really like play around with this. Again, for this edit, I'm trying to make it look like I at least place the text in TikTok, so that's why I'm editing it to look like this. But really you could, if you have a brand font, you can go ahead and use that. You can really try anything. I just changed the caption style, but you can do it to the title in specific too. So that's how I would do, like, okay, now we have this TikTok-ish edit. I already showed you the Instagram-ish edit. Another one, just TikTok-ish, that I want to show you, if we duplicate that one and make it V3, if you download the project, you'll see I also put in a TikTok-ish captions on white. So TikTok has these captions that kind of look like this. So if you apply those all to the track, you now have like that version of captions. So I just wanted to give you some options there and show you how you could do it. So now I have my Reel edit, my TikTok edit, another option for my TikTok edit. You could even, I would duplicate the Reel, duplicate it, and say like Spanish. And using the auto transcription tools, we could add a translate captions and go from English to style. We want the styles to, let's say it's Reel's native-ish captions, advanced preferences, target language, let's say it's Spanish. Scroll down to Spanish, single line. I usually like to lower these, but it's really up to you. and hit translate, it's translating the captions for us. It's usually really fast, and you can only, or you can have both of them on, but if I wanted to create a version that's just in Spanish, I could go ahead and now have this Spanish specific translation. If you have like a channel that's, you only post Spanish content on, that's like another option. So, you know, now we have tons of different export versions that we can do. The one other thing that I want to make sure I show you guys, aside from all those text presets, is that when you're creating this, it's kind of hard, for example, to know where your text should go. I have made presets that you can use, but you can also use your guides. So if we go to view, you have to hit the program monitor and then view guide templates. I created a 2025 IG Reels guide. So this has, let me hit fit, multiple guides that are like safety zones for your content. Again, here on the right is where you have those interactions, like the heart, the like, and all of that kind of thing. So I would try to stay away from having important information there. But then like a little bit is okay. And then here, these are all different like guides for how Instagram crops your videos when it's trying to preview it in different places. So like in feed versus on your profile grid versus in your Reels grid. These are all different like cutoff points for that. The smallest one being the feed one, the second one being your grid preview, your Reels preview, and the largest one being, I think that's actually in feed, Reels preview, grid preview is the smallest one. So that way you know exactly where to put your text. And I created those for you already. And I also have one in there. If you go to window, I always lose it for 1 second. Okay. View, guide templates. I also have IG Explore page. So this is the dimensions. Again, because Instagram Explorer is square, you could make sure that it previews well in Explore. And if you go over to TikTok, this would be like your TikTok boundary. So if we go over to, oh yeah, that's a TikTok video. You can see that all my text is within my TikTok boundaries. So there you go. Those are some really fun templates that you can use. Now let's figure out how we're gonna export all of these, because now we have tons of different versions. So all I would do, let's make sure, yeah, the real Spanish one is good, is select, let me see, I'm gonna select all 6 of these. I wanna export all of these. So I have them all selected. I'm gonna export it to my desktop. You probably should not do that. But what I'm trying to show you is that you have options here. So instead of exporting the entire source, let's say you want to export only the in and out parts of your videos. So if you go back to editing, we set in and out points here by hitting O, and then it'll only export up until there. Stuff like that. I hadn't set it already, but here this one's already set. And when you do this, if we select like 4 of these videos and hit export, desktop, send it to Media Encoder, this will open up Media Encoder for you. And from here, you just hit play and it will export all of those videos at the same time, or like in an order for you. So you don't have to sit here and like wait for it to finish and then click export. So I'm gonna select this one, hit play, and it starts to export these for me right into my desktop without having to do much else. And you can still be working on other stuff because Media Encoder is the one doing it, not Premiere Pro. So all in all, those are my tips for being able to quickly resize your content for different platforms so you can export it quickly and get your stuff from Instagram to YouTube to TikTok, wherever it may be. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me like this entire month for all of these different streams. Thank you so much. I hope you learned so much about how you can create content in Premiere Pro for Instagram and all the different platforms in a more efficient way so you don't feel so overwhelmed by all of the content output that you need to create. Remember to download the starter files to play with them, figure out and practice your editing. Remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the amazing streams here on Adobe Live. And one last thing, you don't need to go anywhere because up next is Lucas O'Keefe. He'll be sharing how you can build a reusable content library using Adobe Express. If you have any questions about my stream, I'm over on Instagram. Come find me, DM me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.